The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said,
The key is to keep company, only with people who uplift you.
whose presence calls forth your best. After all, you are who your friends are. Today, we embark on a Stoic journey, examining this concept through the lens of Stoic philosophy. We'll delve into the 7 types of individuals who might hinder your progress on your Stoic path and explore strategies to navigate these complex relationships. The drama magnet. Picture yourself sailing through life serenely and peacefully. Then you encounter a formidable force known as the drama magnet. This individual seems to have the ability to attract an unending stream of crises, conflicts, or controversies. Much like whirlpool, they possess the ability to draw you into their turbulent vortex of chaos. Initially, you might mistake their intense energy for passion or excitement, but before long, you realize that being in their orbit is exhausting and your energy becomes depleted. Dealing with drama magnets can be a challenge, as their situations often become your own. Their chaos is infectious, and you might find yourself entangled in conflicts that were initially unrelated to you. Consider this practical example. You have a friend who frequently becomes engaged in disputes with others in your social circle. Today, it's Sarah, and tomorrow, it's Tom. Your friend seeks your advice, but you observe that this cycle appears never-ending. Suddenly, you find yourself at odds with Sarah or Tom because you tried to mediate. In such cases, you can employ a technique known as reflective listening. Rather than offering advice or taking sides, you simply reflect their words back to them. For instance, if they say, "I can't believe Sarah said that about me," you could respond with, "So you're feeling betrayed by Sarah's words." This technique allows you to offer emotional support without getting encompassed in the drama yourself. Another approach, which may initially seem counterintuitive, is to make yourself less available. Stoicism reminds us to place a high value on our time, even if it means being unavailable during others' recurring crises that seem to have no resolution in sight. This can involve turning off your phone during specific hours, carving out dedicated periods for work or personal growth, and making it clear that during these times you are not to be disturbed. In the words of Seneca,
True happiness lies in enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future. You have power over your mind.
the chronic complainer. We've all come across that one person in our lives, a friend, family member, or co-worker, who always seems to find something to complain about. It could be the weather, their job, or even the food at a restaurant. They seize every chance to air their grievances. Now you might ask, why should I care? I can just ignore them. But in reality, it's not always that simple. Being around such negativity for an extended period can wear on your mental well-being, like a slow, continuous leak that depletes your emotional energy. Stoicism teaches us to shift our focus from dwelling on problems to seeking practical solutions. Imagine working on a project with a chronic complainer. Every meeting turns into a tiresome litany of complaints, leaving no room for productive discussions. The result? The team's morale takes a hit. You get sidetracked from finding real solutions, and you may even start feeling disillusioned with the project and life itself. So, how can Stoicism guide us in dealing with chronic complainers? There are a few strategies to consider. First, whenever possible, limit your exposure to such individuals. If that's not an option, perhaps because they're a family member or coworker, your next best choice is to mentally distance yourself during their complaints. Think of their gripes as a passing storm, turbulent and unsettling, but ultimately temporary and powerless against your inner tranquility. Your third option is to steer the conversation toward solutions or redirect it to more positive topics. In the words of Marcus Aurelius,
You have power over your mind. Not outside events realize this, and you will find strength.
this timeless Stoic wisdom encourages us to protect our mental peace diligently, ensuring that the perpetual negativity of complainers doesn't lead us astray from our Stoic path of resilience and virtue. The Naysayer. Envision this scenario. You are an artist. diligently painting your canvas. Each brushstroke adds vibrancy, depth, and life to your creative vision. And then, into your studio enters the Naysayer. They take a quick glance at your work and immediately begin offering their critiques. Are you certain about that color? It doesn't look very realistic. You know, most artists don't make it, right? Their words, akin to strokes of gray paint, begin to dull the vibrancy of your canvas. It's not the constructive criticism that can be beneficial. Instead, it's an enduring cloud of doubt and negativity. To illustrate, let's say you're enthusiastic about embarking on a new career path. You've done your research, consulted with professionals in the field, and perhaps even taken preliminary courses. When you share your excitement with the naysayer, they promptly list all the reasons why it won't succeed. The market is overly competitive. Do you possess the necessary skills? What if you fail? In no time, their doubts start to seep into your own confidence, causing your once assured vision to waver. So, how do you handle the naysayer, particularly when they might be close to you? One unconventional yet effective approach is to seek their advice rather than merely sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are placed in an advisory role, they are less likely to outright attack your ideas and may offer more constructive feedback. Another method involves a change of perspective through a technique known as positive confrontation. Rather than absorbing their negativity, challenge them to consider solutions. If they insist that your career change won't work, counter with a thought-provoking question. How do you think someone could successfully transition to a new career at this stage? This not only deflects negativity but also fosters a more constructive dialogue. Recall the wisdom of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who remarked,
"We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak."
Listening doesn't imply absorbing every ounce of negativity. It signifies discerning valuable insights from mere noise. When the naysayers attempt to cast shadows on your canvas with their doubts, take a step back, listen, reflect, and persist in painting your life with the colors that resonate with you. Refuse to let anyone transform your vibrant masterpiece into a drab, gray landscape. Type of people: the victim. Imagine life as a grand chess match where every player starts with the same set of pieces and a shared goal: to checkmate the opponent's king. It's a game where strategic thinking, calculated sacrifices, and occasional risks are essential for success. The victim. Imagine life as a grand chess match where every player starts with the same set of pieces and a shared goal: to checkmate the opponent's king. It's a game where strategic thinking, calculated sacrifices, and occasional risks are essential for success. But then there's the victim. The victim, in contrast, places blame on the chessboard, the pieces, or even their opponent for every suboptimal move they make. In their perspective, they're eternally stuck in checkmate, not due to their choices but because of some external force conspiring against them. Their life narrative is an unending tale of woe, with themselves cast as the perennially helpless protagonist. I can't progress in my job because my boss has it out for me, or I can't attain physical fitness due to my unfavorable genetics. It's important to acknowledge that while some individuals genuinely face hardships and systemic challenges, the blame shifter we're discussing uses their circumstances as a perpetual excuse, evading any responsibility for their actions or inaction. You might find yourself entangled in their storyline, perhaps as the supporting character who is constantly called upon to rescue them. For instance, you've dedicated countless hours listening to a friend attribute the failure of their relationships solely to their ex-partners. This not only consumes your time but subtly encourages you to adopt a similar mindset in your own life. So, how do you navigate interactions with a blame shifter? It might be tempting to assume the role of their savior, offering endless advice and emotional support. However, the Stoics would advise caution against this. Instead, they recommend establishing clear boundaries to protect your own mental well-being. You could employ a technique known as compassionate detachment, showing empathy and kindness without trying to rescue them from situations they should handle themselves. Lend a listening ear, but refrain from becoming their perpetual problem solver. In the words of Marcus Aurelius,
The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice.
if you find yourself drawn into the blame shifter's narrative, resist the urge to become one yourself. Seize control of your own life's chessboard. Make your moves deliberately, make strategic sacrifices when necessary, and engage in the game not for the sake of revenge or pity, but for growth and wisdom. In the chess match of life, being perpetually stuck in checkmate is often a choice. The unwavering optimist. We all know that person who radiates positivity, showering you with sunshine, rainbows, and an unending stream of emojis. They're the ones urging you to just be happy, even when you're going through a tough time, casually dismissing your feelings and experiences with an abundance of glittery optimism. For instance, imagine you're grappling with a challenging breakup. You're going through a range of emotions, sadness, confusion, and a quest for emotional balance. The unwavering optimist offers advice like, "There are plenty of fish in the sea, just smile and be happy." This type of excessive positivity disregards the complexities of human emotions and the realities of life's difficulties. So how can you tend to your garden without allowing the unwavering optimist to trample it with their indiscriminate sprinkling of good vibes only? One strategy is to engage them in a conversation that embraces both light and shadow. When they suggest, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health," you could respond with, "Yes, I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this specific issue." Both can coexist. You can also employ a concept known as emotional granularity, which involves acknowledging and differentiating between a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When the unwavering optimist pushes you to just be happy, take a moment to recognize and label your nuanced feelings. Saying, "I'm feeling a bit melancholic today due to X and that's okay," can be a liberating affirmation. Referencing Stoic philosophy, remember what Seneca once said,
To enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future.
Notice the balance here, understanding duties that aren't always pleasant and enjoying the present. A Stoic approach isn't about fixating on either the positive or the negative. It's about embracing life's intricacies with equanimity. So, the next time the unwavering optimist showers their confetti on your carefully tended garden, take a step back. Remember, a garden thrives on both sunshine and rain. Embrace your complete emotional spectrum and continue nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. The Puppeteer. Envision your life as a carefully crafted screenplay. You are the protagonist, and you have a vision of how your story should unfold, where the plot twists lie, who your allies and mentors are, and what your grand finale should look like. Then, enter the Puppeteer, the elusive producer who subtly rewrites your script without your awareness, until one day you realize your storyline has taken an unexpected turn. The master of emotional and psychological manipulation. They might employ flattery, guilt trips, or even deception to steer you in a direction that primarily benefits them. You might have a friend who consistently persuades you to pick up the tab for dinner by saying something like, "You know, I've been having a tough month, and you're so successful. It wouldn't mean much to you, but it would make my day better." Over time, you realize that your generosity has been exploited, yet confronting them feels uncomfortable because they've framed it as a favor to a friend in need. Dealing with a puppeteer can be a delicate task. One method to counter their tactics is a technique known as fogging. This approach involves agreeing with any truth in the puppeteer's statements, but refusing to be swayed by emotional manipulation. If they say, "You're so successful, you should cover dinner," you could respond, "You're right that I've been doing well, but let's split the bill, as we usually do." Another approach is to establish clear boundaries and enforce them. If the puppeteer seeks to borrow money or coerce you into tasks you're uncomfortable with, learn to assertively say no. Maintain a calm tone and express your boundaries clearly, such as saying, I can't lend money, but I'm here to offer emotional support. This sets a boundary while preserving the friendship. Drawing inspiration from Stoic philosophy, recall the wisdom of Epictetus, who cautioned us that
we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them.
the puppeteer thrives on your predictable reactions, manipulating your kindness, guilt, or desire for approval. By choosing to respond differently, you regain control of your script. So, if you discover a puppeteer lurking in your life, remember that you hold the pen. Your storyline is yours to write. While the cast may include a variety of characters, your journey as the protagonist should always be guided by your values and choices. Reclaim your script and don't allow anyone to manipulate your life's narrative. The Time Leech. Visualize your daily routine as a meticulously composed symphony. Each instrument represents a task or commitment, and when played in harmony, they create a seamless balance. However, into this symphony enters the Time Leech, emitting dissonant notes, drowning out your melody and transforming your beautiful composition into discordant noise. The Time Leech isn't necessarily malevolent. In fact, they might appear quite innocuous. It could be a colleague who consistently interrupts you with trivial questions, fragmenting your otherwise productive workday. Or perhaps it's a friend who invites you to numerous social events that don't align with your interests, leaving you feeling obligated to attend and sapping your time and energy. While these interactions may seem inconsequential individually, their cumulative impact can be profoundly disruptive. So, how do you shield your symphony from being marred by a time leech? One effective strategy is to implement the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that involves breaking your work into intervals, typically 25 minutes separated by short breaks. During these intervals, make it clear that you're not to be disturbed. This establishes a boundary safeguarding your most productive moments from being chipped away. If you're dealing with a social time leech, remember that saying no is not only acceptable, it's essential for your well-being. Instead of crafting elaborate excuses, a simple, "I appreciate the invite, but I can't make it," suffices. Declining an invitation isn't a rejection of the person. It's an affirmation of your own needs and priorities. In the words of Seneca,
"Life well lived is long and enough."
Stoicism teaches us that time is one of our most precious resources, one that should be allocated wisely. It serves as the canvas upon which we paint the portrait of our lives, and we should be highly selective about who and what deserves a stroke of our brush in the grand composition of your life. Ensure that each note, each instrument, and each melody align with your greater purpose. Don't permit the cacophonous intrusion of a time leech to disrupt your symphony. Grasp the baton firmly and conduct your life with purpose, ensuring that every moment contributes to the harmonious masterpiece you aim to create. As we conclude today's exploration into the characters who can hinder our path to Stoic resilience and wisdom, let's not forget that self-awareness is paramount. While it's easy to recognize these types in others, the more challenging and enlightening task is to turn the introspective lens inward. Are you, perhaps unintentionally, playing one of these roles in someone else's life? Remember, Stoicism is not just about navigating the world. It's also about understanding and improving ourselves.
I want to help people like you achieve a deeper understanding on Stoicism. Thank you for joining me. Allow me to assist you along your Stoic path. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more philosophical explorations. Your happiness depends upon the quality of your thought.